In the storm-tossed world of Deadliest Catch, few vessels have captured viewers' hearts quite like the Cornelia Marie. With her fearless crew and legendary captain, she stood as a symbol of grit, danger, and the relentless pursuit of fortune on the Bering Sea. Yet one season, she vanished from the screen, without warning, without explanation. Fans were left wondering, what really happened? Today, we dive deep beneath the surface to uncover the untold story, the real reason why the Cornelia Marie mysteriously disappeared from Deadliest Catch. For over 10 years, Cornelia Marie was Deadliest Catch's soul. Fans remembered it as the home of harsh but beloved Captain Phil Harris, who lived and breathed the sea. After his death, his sons Josh and Jake swore to continue. Viewers supported them. In August 2022, everything changed. An old court document appeared online unexpectedly. It looked like another old legal file. It became apparent when people dug deeper. Josh Harris hid a horrific secret for 24 years. A shocking crime that stunned fans. Discovery eliminated Cornelia Marie from its series in days. Streaming platforms removed seasons overnight. What did Josh do? The start. The Cornelia Marie was built in 1989 by Horton Boats in Bayou La Batre, Alabama. The little salty shipbuilding hamlet of La Batre has years of workmanship behind every weld. Famous for its hard-working yards and weathered builders, the town launched hundreds of shrimp boats, trawlers, and crabbers over the decades. Cornelia Marie was no ordinary job. It ended an era. Elmo Horton, a Gulf Coast nautical legend, oversaw this final large-scale commercial development. The Cornelia Marie was designed for the Bering Sea with her sturdy steel structure, wide beam, and long, sleek deck. The bow-to-stern length was 128 feet and the beam 28 feet. It was built of thick steel and designed to withstand the Bering Sea's harsh conditions with a draft of slightly over 11 feet. From its reinforced shell to its weight, it was built to last. Below deck, it was powerful. The Cornelia Marie's twin Cummins QSKM diesel engines powered her through waves and storms. Each engine produced 750 horsepower, allowing the boat to reach 14.50 knots, fast for its size and class. Speed was crucial during limited crab seasons. This boat sped up when others slowed. The Cornelia Marie had 28,500-gallon fuel and 3,000-gallon fresh water tanks. In the harsh, ever-changing world of Alaskan crabbing, it could stay out at sea for weeks without returning to port, a major advantage. It became a strong competitor with that range. This boat could fish farther and longer than others, which had to balance fuel and crab numbers. Self-sufficiency could mean the difference between profit and loss or survival and disaster on the Bering Sea, where every hour counts and storms can trap miles from rescue. It took $2.50 million to build, a huge risk, but it paid off. The Cornelia Marie became known for its muscle, efficiency, reliability, and ability to haul heavy loads in the roughest waters on Earth. The boat's name distinguished it from the fleet. Unlike many captains, Ralph Collins, who commissioned the build, chose no legendary figure or poetic phrase. It was named after his wife, Cornelia Marie Collins. This honored collaboration. Cornelia wasn't a spectator. She managed logistics, money, and the endless invisible demands that keep a boat afloat alongside him. Naming the ship after her showed respect. After their divorce, Cornelia remained a part owner. The name was never removed from the hull. It had expanded beyond paint and letters by then. This name would become famous to millions. The Cornelia Marie stood out with its aquamarine hull, white trim, and bright yellow flags, announcing itself. The boat had an iconic look whether docked in Kodiak, waiting out storms in Dutch Harbor, or moving through waters. There was more to it than paint. Cornelia Marie faced the worst of the Bering Sea from the start. It hunted king crab, opilio crab, salmon, and herring, each season dangerous. This boat was built to conquer Earth's harshest oceans. The Cornelia Marie outlasted several competitors due to its large fuel tanks and freshwater capacity. Although others had to return for supplies, it kept fishing. It earned the boat a reputation as one of the hardest in a fishery with no shutdowns and razor-thin profits. Early Cornelia Marie crew members included veterans and novices. Some sought thrills, danger, and big paydays. Others were barely surviving, wanting to escape or start afresh. They endured the same brutality. Ice waves rushed over the bow without notice, immersing everything in deadly cold. Winds howled through the rigging like a warning no one could ignore. Every shift was risky. Unsafe steps could send a man to sea. Cornelia Marie kept going trip after trip. Cornelia Marie joined the desperate hunt for survivors after the Big Valley crashed in the freezing abyss in 2005. Though only one man survived the accident, the mission left a mark. Such efforts boosted Cornelia Marie's fame. Not merely a crab-hauling vessel. Before cameras and fame arrived, the boat was a legend among those who lived on the edge of the earth. By the 1990s and early 2000s, the Cornelia Marie was a star. It gained 22 feet and 100,000 pounds of crab capacity after a substantial refurbishment. A full haul allowed the boat to catch over 300,000 pounds of crab. The Cornelia Marie survived tough seasons and strain while others folded. It succeeded via hard work, good choices, and frequent choices. All qualities that would make the yacht ideal for reality TV. That story revolved around Phil Harris. In the early 1990, he joined and became part owner. In 1998, he became captain. Transitional phase. Phil Harris was bossy and dedicated to his workers. He supported the Cornelia Marie men like family during every storm, injury, and long night on the tracks. His love for that boat was strong. Over 20 years, it shaped Cornelia Marie's heart. He learned fishing from his father aged 8 in Bottle, Washington, a small community. Harris left high school at 17. Money led him to crab fishing. A friend drove home in a new automobile after making $100,000 in a season. Harris sat in an old Chevelle, dreaming big. So he packed and went north. The first season nearly broke him. 0 production and 1 quit. Harris returned to prove himself when the captain criticized him for leaving. He ultimately made $130,000 in a season at 19. He bought the Golden Viking, his first boat, 2 years later aged 21. His skipper gave him the wheel on his birthday. That should have been a celebration, but it came with heavy debt, malfunctioning equipment, and the nearly impossible job of garnering respect as a young captain. He faced $5,000 in emergency repairs. Harris stayed when most would have left. He was known as one of the Bering Sea's roughest, brightest skipper by his mid-20s. Chain-smoked and barking instructions were his habits. He cared deeply beneath the tough exterior. Profits were split fairly. His team admired him because he never asked them to do anything he wouldn't do himself. Many returned season after season despite the sea's worst. His personal life was different. Dual divorces and substance misuse. He wasn't flawless, but he gave his all to the boat and crew. Nighttime crab pot emptying kept him up, because he thought his workers might go home empty-handed. He couldn't accept that. The Cornelia Marie changed drastically under Harris's command. In a significant overhaul, the boat was chopped in 4 and lengthened 22 feet. That increased crab capacity by 100,000 pounds. His kids Josh and Jake joined him on deck, making the Cornelia Marie more than a fishing boat. Big things happened in 2005. The Cornelia Marie was one of 4 boats awarded full Deadliest Catch coverage in Season 2. Hard task for producers. The best was sought by almost 250 Bering Sea boats. They reduced the list to 89. Captain Phil Harris and the Cornelia Marie's excellent catches made it stand out. Phil initially doubted. He didn't like cameras following his group. Filming could disrupt the production or capture a dangerous moment that should have remained private. While Discovery Channel needed a trustworthy boat, Phil wanted to safeguard his crew and focus on fishing, but the timing was right. That year, the industry changed drastically. The Derby-style crab season was replaced with individual fishing quotas. It reduced turmoil, but heightened expectations. Only the best boats were chosen. The Cornelia Marie deserved that top designation. Phil took a risk by involving his sons Josh and Jake. The show gained a new dimension. However, Phil didn't favor them. He pushed them hard like everyone else. Screen content was real. Work, tension, and fatherhood leadership conflicts. One scene stays with fans. Phil said, "Jake, you need to get to therapy, man. Anyway, you'll have a shot." The brothers learnt crab fishing, and the cameras kept filming as Phil's health worsened. People saw him labor, lead, struggle, and love. His honesty let people connect with Phil. Although tough, he was quick to express his mind and often hilarious without trying. Never forget lines like, "I feel like a one-legged man in an ass-kicking match. Lions eat their young. Now you know why." That humor got him through tough times. He survived thanks to his boat. Cornelia Marie looked different. This striking blue, white, and yellow combination made it a brand. Fans bought hats, shirts, mugs, and little model ships. Everyone took photos when they spotted it in port, like seeing an old friend. Even when it changed hands or left the show, the image remained powerful. Numbers also made the boat famous. The Cornelia Marie caught large fish from the start, one of the top boats in 2005's harsh season. Phil persisted, chasing storms, racing opponents, and staying out. His boat gave him the strength. It carried over 300 tons of crab at 128 feet. That meant less port visits and more pot pulling. Results weren't just good TV. They demonstrated crew talent and grind. They demonstrated Phil's resolve. Another story was unfolding. Phil and his addiction were huge. Not only was the skipper yelling orders from the wheelhouse, he always had a cigarette in his hand. Show captured everything. Chain smoking, infinite coffee pots, and fuel cell stacked Red Bull cans. Despite seeming in character, it was killing him. Phil had a pulmonary aneurysm at sea in 2008. The turning point should have been then. Doctors asked him to quit. Phil persisted despite his crew and sons pleading. He kept smoking, drinking, and stressing. Phil suffered a big stroke at 53 in 2010. Unfortunately, addiction cursed the Harris family. The moment altered everything. Phil collapsed while offloading crab on January 29, 2010. A tremendous stroke. His crew acted quickly, radioing for rescue. EMTs rushed. St. Paul Island was hundreds of miles from the nearest large hospital. Phil was stabilized, medevaced, and flown to Anchorage. Phil was rushed away, battling for his life, leaving his sons and staff dumbfounded. Every desperate radio call was filmed. It prompted harsh queries. Should such suffering be public? Phil couldn't decide. Discover worked closely with family. The Harris lads agreed. They sought truth to honor their father. People still feel apprehensive about this choice. Phil seemed to have a chance. Talked, joked, and squeezed hands. Doctors were shocked. Phil reached his goal in days, when most stroke sufferers need months. A sudden brain bleed changed everything. Phil got sicker. His sons and friends supported him. The only thing left was farewell. Phil Harris died February 9, 2010. His ashes split. Half in a Harley-Davidson gas tank with his mother's remains. Rest scattered at sea. The sea was his home forever. Redemption Day, the Deadliest Catch episode, broadcast on July 20, 2010, to 5.40 million viewers. It was one of the most watched episodes. Many claimed they cried with the Harris family. It went beyond a show. Phil Harris was more than captain. He was Deadliest Catch's heart. Fans post his quotes online following his passing. They still wear his sayings on shirts and hats. His voice remains. His spirit endures. After Captain Phil Harris died in February 2010, his sons Josh and Jake faced a terrible and seemingly impossible assignment. They wanted Cornelia Marie to stay as family, but they didn't own everything, and buying out the other interests would cost more than they expected. The yacht needed major repairs, making matters worse. The brothers repeatedly sought loans, but no one believed them. Banks and investors considered them too young, inexperienced, and hazardous. In addition, family tensions existed. Phil's previous business partner, Cornelia Marie Devlin, possessed a large share in the boat. She disagreed with the Harris brothers. Negotiations strained. Josh and Jake fought for their father's legacy for years. They had to impress their crew, fishermen, and millions of viewers. They occasionally thought they'd fail. After Phil's death, Cornelia Marie struggled. Phil's longtime friend Derek Ray became acting captain. He had to fulfill Phil's Deadliest Catch boat narrative request. Ray's leadership strained relations. He was rigid. He fought the grieving brothers, especially Jake. Ray accused Jake of drug use on board and phoned the police to intimidate him. That moment shocked crew and fans. Phil unified the boat, but now it felt split. When crab hauls were low, the crew almost mutinied. Ray was criticized for not locating crab and being nasty. This was one of Cornelia Marie's most difficult and emotional times. Josh finally succeeded after years of struggle. Casey McManus, a childhood friend and competent engineer and deckhand, joined him. They raised enough money. Josh acquired 45% of Cornelia Marie. Casey bought 5%. Two outside investors each held 25% of the remaining 50%. The boat overhaul was made possible by this deal. They upgraded with 750 horsepower Cummins engines and other enhancements. Josh joined Casey as captain in 2015. Only replacing the engines with 2,758 horsepower Cummins diesels required new partners to pay the bills. Costs included crew salary, fuel, insurance, and repairs. A money black hole, Josh said. Pandemic exacerbated matters. Crew pay reached 10 times normal. Every season was risky. Bad catches can be disastrous. Only taking bigger risks like chasing golden king crab in deeper, deadlier seas could save you. The cameras added another layer. The show's demands sometimes compromised crew safety. Filming during storms, delaying trips, and pursuing drama made crab fishing more perilous, but made wonderful TV. Discovery sometimes pulled the show's boat. Not fishing, but legal or image difficulties. The team balanced maritime survival with performing for millions watching from couches. Josh and Cummins clashed and confused spectators, yet their teamwork saved the Cornelia Marie and made it Deadliest Catch. While Josh rebuilt the yacht and his future, Jake's life fell apart. His addiction began before Phil's death and was now out of control. Episode when Phil confronted Jake for stealing painkillers drew millions. Jake confessed to addiction. After Phil left, things became worse. DUI led to Jake's arrest. He was detained again for narcotics and auto theft in 2017. After 2 years, he was imprisoned for DUI and heroin distribution in 2019. He was sentenced to 18 months in prison in 2024 for leading police on a high-speed chase. Jake broke up with Josh and Cornelia Marie. Fans were startled when Cornelia Marie and Josh disappeared from Deadliest Catch Season 13 in October 2016. Social media exploded with rumors. Josh then uploaded a video to clarify. The producers focused on other boats that season. Josh expressed regret, but assured supporters that the crew was ready to fish. Fans raged. Many threatened to boycott the show until Cornelia Marie returned. The network wanted new plots. After years, they believed the show required new angles to engage viewers. However, Josh and the crew were frustrated. The show affected their lives and reputations. Health issues plagued the Harris family on top of everything else. Multiple family members were in the ICU at once. Renee Harris experienced a major heart attack in July 2024. After a double bypass, she spent a week in critical care and days on life support. Her heart stopped 4 times. Other family members had strokes, brain bleeds, and medical issues. The burden was tremendous, so they focused on survival rather than fishing or filming. Fans gave money and notes of support. Captain Grant Harris, Josh's grandfather, died, adding to the grief. Josh was devastated by this second loss after Phil. Josh felt compelled to honor 2 generations of captains while fighting. He has spoken about his melancholy and anxiety, but those losses inspired his determination to honor his father and grandfather by continuing the Cornelia Marie story. The Deadliest Catch crew became more than camera operators. They became family. They experienced the same frigid winds, treacherous seas, and sleepless nights. They witnessed the Harris family's private grief, triumphs, and heartbreak. Sometimes they had to step back during private times, but they shared tasks, meals, and tensions. Fans were energized when Cornelia Marie reappeared in Deadliest Catch Season 14. Many watchers were heartbroken when the yacht vanished in 2017. The 2018 Discovery season's announcement sparked excitement. The network received countless postings, memes, and petitions to keep the boat in line. Watching Josh Harris and Casey McManus lead boosted ratings. Fans wanted to see if the next generation could respect Phil. Joy and relief were evident. It felt like getting part of the show's soul back when Cornelia Marie returned. The 2020 release of Deadliest Catch Bloodline changed the Harris tale. Hawaii's warm shores replaced Alaska's cold seas in this spin-off. Josh discovered 50-60 antique fishing charts in his dad's Cornelia Marie stateroom. 3 Hawaii maps have unusual remarks and fishing sites. In search of his father's hints, Josh joined Casey and local fisherman Jeff Silva. Together they sought Phil's map's mysteries. They didn't simply want $2,000 ahi tuna. Phil's past was being revealed. Bloodline combined fishing and personal quest. As the Cornelia Marie sailed, leadership changes occurred gradually. Casey McManus took charge more. Casey took charge as Josh struggled with personal and legal issues. Fans saw Casey running the boat and making important decisions by season 14. His skills maintained the Cornelia Marie's finances and operations. Josh's role diminished further when his dark truths surfaced. In September 2022, Josh's plea deal for sexually assaulting a minor was revealed, which was his hardest blow. Discovery acted fast. They canceled Josh and withdrew Deadliest Catch and Bloodline from streaming. Josh's reputation plummeted overnight. The shock came in August 2022 when old court documents appeared online. Fans were appalled when Josh, 15, sexually raped a 4-year-old family friend's daughter in 1998. Details of the case were horrific. DNA delays delayed charges until the next year. Josh got 9 months in prison for pleading guilty to a lesser offense in 1999. He underwent 2 years of treatment. Most thought the punishment was too light for the crime. For over 2 decades, this dark past was hidden. Fans felt deceived and enraged when the truth was revealed, questioning how such a major act had gone unnoticed. Findings came shortly after the news broke. Old episodes were removed from US, Canadian, and international streaming services. Even tweets and promotions gone. The network wants no scandal involvement. Mixed reactions from fans. Some commended Discovery's quick action, while others lamented Cornelia Marie's absence. Even while innocent, Casey McManus paid a price. Discovery cut Casey when they cut Josh. His contract wasn't renewed, and he left the show without fault. Fans thought it was unjust. Although respected, Casey was caught in the storm. Cornelia Marie began a new chapter in 2024. Taylor Jensen revealed his and partner's yacht purchase on June 17th. The crew includes Jensen, Roger Thomas, Carrie Toya, and Jake Albanino. Albanino's appointment as captain encouraged fans to see new blood leading Cornelia Marie forward. While honoring the boat's heritage, the new owners said they would focus on fishing, not fame. Cornelia Marie finally felt free from the Harris family after Phil Harris's death. What do you think? Comment your thoughts. Please like and subscribe. Click the video on your screen before leaving.